Hello and welcome to the season opener of the UCI e-mountain bike cross-country World Cup. WES2023 is presented by Department Alpes-Maritimes and is the first of 7 exciting rounds taking place across Europe this year. The WES season always starts in Monaco, and this year we're in a new location in the incredible mountains near Bray-sur-Roya. This town is so named because La Roya River runs through it, and as you can see here from the quaint streets and coloured houses, it's a stunning setting for what is to be a great opening weekend of racing. You can see why this region is so popular with e-bike riders, runners and motorcyclists alike. Nestled in the mountains, day one of the season kicks off with bike checks and photo shoots for the riders. That doesn't stop preparations in the rain. Here's Jérôme Gillot getting ready for qualification race. Riders catching up after the off-season. And here's last year's reigning champion, Nicole Goldie of Trek Bosch, looking very relaxed. Here's track one of the season, 2.8 kilometres in length. Riders will do 7 laps. Let's meet Jess Rogers to tell us more.
Day one of the season here in Bray-sur-Roya. It's raining, but the atmosphere is great. I'm with Justine Tonzo, who's previewed the track. How was it?
It was very good. We have a very technical and slippery track, so I love it. And also very physical. We are in the south of France, near my home, so I'm very happy to be here.
Amazing. Well, let's take a look at it.
Justine Tonzo, 3rd overall in the World Cup last year. Let's see what she makes of the course.
Okay, so here begin the single track. The first uphill is very nice because we can push hard, and we have just here the little technical section. Then here we begin another technical section which is very funny, and at the end of this uphill we have a very tricky track. Then we go up at the climbing peak with a very nice view and a very nice downhill, which is very funny. And just there, the descent, the downhill is very nice, and this downhill is very fast. Then we go on a little single track when we can cool down. The only section that we can cool down. And then it's the start.
Thanks, Justine. It's a good looking track. Here's the race format: qualification race first, then the mass start race, and then the podium ceremonies. First up on day one is the qualification race. The riders do a 1-lap time trial of the course. That defines their starting place in the main race in the afternoon. For the qualification race, they go off one by one at 1-minute intervals and try to set the fastest time possible. The women go first, followed by the men, and they go in reverse standings order from slowest to fastest. The main race is a mass start format. Because it's so difficult to overtake on these challenging courses, all riders want to try and qualify in pole position to give themselves a good start. Nicole Goldie, despite a crash in the qualification race, takes the Raspini pole position for women, and Jérôme Gillot takes the men's.
I like this condition, so happy to win the first race of the seasons, so good to be back.
All smiles from Nicole and Jérôme, last year's world champions, very happy with their perfect start to the season. Let's get to race number one of the season. All the riders lining up. A few smiles. Nicole Goldie in pole position in that rainbow jersey. Some more relaxed than others at the moment before the race starts. There's Jérôme Gillot in the rainbow jersey alongside Joris Reef and Hugo Pajon. Here's our starting grid, the top 10. Expectations are high. The whistle starts the 2023 season here in Monaco. Fast and furious starts. The whole shot winners, Nicole Goldie and Emmerich Einzer. Not much to separate the riders, the male and female riders alongside each other. Nice footage here from Jérôme Van Eck. The men's leading group, Hugo Pajon, Joris Reef and Jérôme Gillot. It's a tough uphill section on this course. You can hear the breathing of the riders. Nicole Goldie leading the women. Sophia Wiedenroth close behind for Specialized. There's Justine Tonzo trying to make up lost time from her early crash. Joris Reef leading the men's category on this opening lap. They're very close behind though. Joris Reef looking very strong at the moment. Gio just behind. Hugo Pageant sitting third. Justine Tonzo still on the hunt at the moment. This is Nicole Goldie maintaining a strong lead in the women's category. The world champion now pushing hard. Look at that stunning backdrop. This is Hugo Pageant in third. And this is fellow Frenchman Théo Charme in fourth place. Now Gio's managed to overtake the Swiss champion Joris Reef and goes into the lead. A little bit of movement here. Charme overtakes Pageant. It really is a sensational location for this opening part of the season in Breil-sur-Roya. Look at this downhill section, so tricky. Still a great fight going on between the two leaders in the men's category. Nicole Goldie looking so strong, comfortably leading the women's race. This is Sophia Wiedenroth following in second place. They make it look so easy. Justine Tonzo still hunting them down from behind. This is Jeroen van Eck pushing on for a very strong finish. But it's the reigning world champion and World Cup winner Jérôme Gio who takes the first win of the season. Joris Reef, the final little climb to the finish. He comes in with a wheelie for second place. Nice camaraderie between the two of them. Hugo Pageant settles for third place after a battle with Théo Charme. Let's take a look then at the race men's results and what Jérôme has to say.
I'm happy to win here for the first race of the season. I'm good shape and I like this track, this weight track. And good battle with Joris Reef, so happy.
Let's turn our attention to the women's race. Reigning world champion Nicole Goldie never relinquished the lead, takes the win for the women. Justine Tonzo managed to overtake Wiedenroth on the last lap to come home in second place. Wiedenroth settles for third. Some really happy but tired riders out there. Let's take a look then at the women's results. Nicole Goldie, happy with her victory.
Yeah, I think it was a good race because I had a great start and then behind me I think Justine crashed and I had luck and I can go and yeah, I can continue and it was good.
Goldie, the winner of the whole shot powered by Fassi and collecting that award, the first of the season. And Emmerich Einzer in the men's category had the fastest start and takes the whole shot. There's our two whole shot winners. And now to the women's podium. A great start to the season for the world champion. And time, as always, to spray the bubbles. Here's the Women's World Cup standings after the first race of the season. And here's the men's podium. Jerome Gio in that familiar top position after a great battle today with Joris Reef. Here's the standings after round number 1. 25 points always for the win. And a little bit of fun with the bubbles. Looks like Joris is enjoying himself in particular. There's our first full podium of the season. And now it's time to learn a little bit more about e-bikes with Bosch. Now it's time to learn a little bit more about e-bikes with Bosch.
Hi, I'm Martin, race mechanic here for the Bosch race support, and welcome here in our tent. So the Bosch drive unit supports the rider during riding up to 25 kilometers per hour in 4 different modes. And you can choose the modes here at the mini remote or at the LED remote. If you want to have a higher support, push the up button. When the support should be lower, push the down button. It's very easy to understand. So I think the difference compared to other developers is we already had last year a race mode, which was made extra for the riders so that they could be a little bit better in the races.
Great to hear a lot more about Bosch and e-bikes. On to race number 2 and track 2. A lot of rain overnight, so the number of laps reduced to 5 for the main race. As you can see, pretty wet and muddy morning on site in Bray-sur-Roya, but things got underway for the qualification race. A very different situation. The riders really having to use their technique well and also work out how best to use the power of these e-bikes as well. You can see just how difficult and slippy this course is. Look how much mud is on these bikes and on these riders. Really damp qualifying, but Justine Tonzo and Hugo Pajon come out with the fastest times in the qualification race, and they take the Raspini pole position spots for race 2.
The quali race was very hard. We have some very extreme conditions because the mud is very sticky, and I think the race will be very different than all of the other races that we could do, that we will do. So we will see.
There's our pole position riders, Hugo Pajon. Let's hear from him.
Conditions were very hard today compared to yesterday because a lot of mud and it was super hard to climb.
It's time for our first rider profile of the season, so let's find out all about the Australian Josh Carlson of the factory off-road team from Giant, and Jess finding out more about him.
My name is Josh Carlson. I'm from the Giant factory off-road team and I'm originally from Wollongong, Australia. 2020 is when I moved across to e-bike. I've raced Enduro in the Enduro World Series since the very first one in 2013. And 2020 I moved across to e-bike and we developed it in 21, 22 and here we are in 23. I think the reason why I like it so much is that there's so much development. I mean, it's frustrating and exciting at the same time. The courses are more physical, there's more riding, there's more stages, there's more to consider. You have to consider your bike, your body, the stages, the strategy, there's uphills, there's downhills, so it's very exciting and it's exciting to be a part of the development and on the front foot of the next phase and the next discipline. We've had some pretty spectacular races in Crans, Montana, in Switzerland. Finale is epic. Finale Ligure in Italy is epic on an e-bike. Some of the West events that we've been to so far have been really cool because it opens up new areas. Unlike regular bikes, you have a little bit more access on steep little hillsides like where we are right now. It's hard to go past Finale Ligure, or we're racing in Canazei in the Dolomites this year, so I'm tipping that will be my favourite. e-bikes is special because it allows more people more access to more areas. Obviously it's still physical and it's still extremely hard, and at the professional level like us, we end up going up even more steep stuff and even more technical terrain, which makes it super intriguing for myself and enjoyable. But for the mass, there's so many more people that can have access to ride climbs, to ride terrain, to get involved in mountain bike riding. I think it just allows a lot more people to get involved in our sport, which is really exciting. Not that the normal bikes don't, but it's easier. You know, you have a motor to get you up the hill, and my dad won't ride up the same hills that I do, but on an e-bike he will. Go guys.
What a great insight about Josh Carlson and e-bikes as well. On to race 2, and things have definitely brightened up a bit. We're on to the starting grid. Here's the lineup for the top 10. Justine Tonzo in pole to try and do one better than her performance of yesterday. Hugo Pajon in the top spot in qualifying in the men's race. And we're off. The second race of the season here in Monaco. And it's very fast through the whole shot. Riff and Pajon fighting it out there. Antonia Doberman and Hugo Pajon fastest out of the blocks and taking the whole shot. Stunning backdrop as the riders make their way up the mountainside on the first climb. Jérôme Gillot takes an early lead. Hugo Pajon not far behind. Teammate Emmerich Einzer follows. Here's Justine Tonzo looking strong from the outset. Nicole Goldie, the world champion in pursuit. Anna Spielmann, the debutante, third position down that descent. Gio suffered a mechanical actually. And he's finding himself now in a fight with Hugo Pajon. Here's Wiedenroth in the women's category. Also had some technical difficulties. This is Tonzo pushing ahead. Emmerich Einzer managing to overtake on the last lap. Making his way onto the wheel here and then overtaking. That's going to give him his first win in a World Cup race, and he celebrates. Teammate Pajon holds on to second place. And unusually for the World E-Bike Series, Jérôme Gillot comes home in third place. Let's take a look then at the race results. Big celebrations. Emmerich Einzer takes the win in 49.35.
Feeling good, it's a first race win for me. So yeah, it's not what I was expecting, but it's okay, it's good, I'm really happy. The course was really muddy and it was so hard. The mud go on the tire, the derailleur, so you need to be really tactical and wash the bike in the same time you ride, so yeah, hard one.
After her problems yesterday, Justine Tonzo takes the victory. Very happy with that performance. Look at the mud on that bike. Nicole Goldie comes in to take second place. Great camaraderie after the finish, and look at that. Debutante Anna Spielmann picks up third place.
I felt very great today. I could push on my bike and I had no misery on my start lap. So I did a good start, and then since the first lap I arrived to a good position with the man and with the girl, and then after it was just war, and I had to lock down the brain and just push harder than ever.
Here's Nicole Goldie and also Jérôme Gillot picking up their awards for the fastest lap, the power lap powered by Magneti Marelli. There they are on the podium. And the whole shot powered by Fassi, this time Antonio Dauberman and Hugo Pajon. Here's our women's podium. Anna Spielman, the debutante, looking particularly happy. What a performance. And there's the standings in the World Cup. It's close. The top two tied on points. Here's our men's podium. Emmerich Einzer on the top step. Let's take a look then at the standings. Jérôme Gillot on 41 points in the lead. And here's our Race 2 season podium. That's all for this time. The next stop is Bologna on the 10th and 11th of June for the WES Bologna-Montana round of the series taking place in Monghidoro. Bologna is a city in the Emilia-Romagna region in northern Italy, and as we prepare to race there, we wish all our best to those hit by the recent floods. In 2022, it was Nicole Goldie and Jérôme Gillot who inspired with their performances. Will the same happen this time? Bye for now.